my goodness.
122.60 for Penn.
What a swim!
Six of them.
Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us. It is kind of a rite of summer heading into fall for us, even if temperatures are in the 90s outside. It is the 2023 Coca-Cola of Kokomo kickoff special on the ISC Sports Network. I am your host, Greg Rakestraw. Thanks to the guys behind the scenes that make this happen. Most importantly, thanks to our wonderful partners at Coca-Cola of Kokomo. Without their support, it wouldn't be possible. The schools that you will see are all supported by Coca-Cola of Kokomo. In other words, you'll have a wonderful Coca-Cola beverage when you go watch these football teams this fall and know that the student athletes and all of their classmates stay hydrated in the classroom because of the work that Coca-Cola of Kokomo has done in this community since 1907. Today on the program, we will have teams from Cass County, Miami County, Howard County, and Tipton County talking about their upcoming seasons. There are schools that are trying to get back above 500. There are schools that are trying to get to the state championship game, and those in between. We'll talk about the life lessons they learned in terms of playing football and what coaches and team leaders expect for their teams to take place in terms of upcoming football season, which kicks off on August the 18th. We will kick off our show by talking about North Miami. They will lead us off with many, many schools to follow after that. We're back in a moment. It is the 2023 Coca-Cola of Kokomo kickoff special right here on ISC.
My father's father had two brothers and a sister. His older sister, Hazel, had married a man named Jim Yunker, and he was involved in the bottling business early on, as early as 1906 in Indianapolis, and he sold flavors. He would have had grape, cream soda, blood orange, ginger ale. In 1915, he got the franchise for Coca-Cola in Indianapolis. So then we fast forward 20 years later to 1935, Jim Yunker approached my grandfather and his two brothers and said the franchises in Kokomo, Logansport, and Peru are available for sale, and you guys want this. Trust me, you want to get in the Coca-Cola business.
Welcome back on our Coca-Cola of Kokomo kickoff special. Thank you so much for joining us. And joining us off the top would be North Miami. They've been one of the teams that's been here for every year that we have done this. And normally that means Joe Grant, their head coach, is joining us. But Joe is actually in Georgia this week, and it's a pretty cool story. He's doing a little scouting, checking out a little practice down there with a relative of his. So he's very kind enough to send Brian Raber to us, who's been an assistant coach for him. Brian, thank you so much for the time, and How long you been with the program now?
This will be my second year back up here. I grew up at North Miami, and this is my second year. This will be my second year teaching and coaching back up here.
So what is it like then kind of being back home now for a second go-round?
It took me a while to get kind of reincorporated, but everybody's been awesome, and it's been a pleasure to be back in North Miami.
One of the things that I always talk about with 1A football or 2A football, where you start every year is basically numbers. So what sort of numbers you have in the program coming up this fall?
We're looking around 35-ish at the moment, give or take a couple. We've got a couple kids that are still kind of on the fence, and we hope to get a few more maybe out when practice starts next week.
Well, there's also that kind of leads into, okay, what you're able to do from both a time and personnel and resources standpoint during the summer, during the off season. What have workouts been like heading into this week?
Pretty good. We get pretty good turnout at weights and stuff, and then during practice we split it up pretty evenly. Joe's pretty good about giving me plenty of time with the defense, most days anyway. But we split practice pretty evenly, obviously, because we got to share players and stuff like that.
I was going to say, how many two-way starters you looking at this year?
We got quite a few, probably 7 or 8 are probably going to start both sides of the ball.
All right, how many seniors do you have this year?
We got 6.
Okay.
We got 6, and most of them are going to start probably on one side or the other, and then we got a couple guys that are going to give us plenty of time. Not starting as well.
We got a couple of seniors that we'll introduce coming up here in a matter of moments. Tell us about these two guys, Isaac and Preston, that are joining us today.
Yep, Isaac Ireland. He's going to play left tackle and middle linebacker for us. I think he started about 3 years. He might have even started some as a freshman. And then Preston Wilcox, he started at least the last 2 years. He's going to start again at corner and wide out for us.
Looking back to last year, 4-6, just kind of overall your thoughts as to what you were proud about from last year and what you kind of hope to grow on from last season.
Sure. Obviously, we snapped a long losing skid in the first week, beating Manchester, and that was a big boost for the program. And we had a lot of workhorse seniors that are graduating, but these kids here, they want to prove that last year wasn't necessarily a fluke, and we can continue our winning ways.
When you want people, when people think about North Miami football, what do you want them to think of? What sort of I wouldn't say attitude, but just tenets of the program should people know about what you guys are doing at North Miami?
Well, we want to be able to know that we're a tough team to play, and we're going to be a tough out, whether we're not playing very well or we're playing really good. So we want to be a tough team and a tough out every week.
Final thing for you, Coach. What's it like working for Joe? This is now, I think, entering year 7 for him at North Miami. Just your thoughts about the way he leads the program.
He's great. He's all about the kids, and he does everything he can to help with the weight program. He's a fantastic weights teacher in school, and he's all for the kids, and he does a really good job with that.
Brian, thanks for pinch hitting for Joe. I greatly appreciate it. You
Absolutely.
Stay right here as I'll now kind of turn to my right, and we'll get Isaac Ireland to my right, Preston Wilcox down to my far right. Again, number 51, left tackle and middle linebacker. First things first, senior year. Can you believe this is your last year of high school football?
I mean, it goes fast. You really don't think about it, but it kind of just moves quickly than you expect.
Kind of, Preston, same thing for you. Knowing this is the last go-around for you as a senior, what does that mean to you?
It's sad because I still want to play after.
They have opportunities for that.
Yeah.
You could be playing college, so hopefully you'll get that opportunity. Preston, I'll start with you on this one. To represent your hometown, to represent your community, the NM that you have on your chest right now, what does that mean to you?
It means like family and all the brothers that we've built together, all the way that we built our program and how it's gone since.
Isaac, kind of the same thing for you, to represent your hometown. And again, part of the victory in a small school that plays football is simply playing the game, let alone whether you win or lose. To have played each of the last 3 years for North Miami, what does that mean to you?
It's more than just like the name on the jersey. You get to represent your community. A lot of people know you because it's really tight and compact. It's just nice to get appreciation from people you know.
Yeah, no doubt about that. 4-6 last year was the overall record. What were you most proud of what you and your teammates accomplished last year?
I mean, it's huge to snap that whatever game losing streak we had. It's nice to get near that 500 mark. Hopefully we break that this year, but it felt really good to just kind of get a win with your guys.
Preston, a favorite memory or moment from your previous 3 years of playing high school football at North Miami?
Has to be winning against Northfield for a senior night.
Yeah. Always good to send those guys off with a final win. Isaac, what are some of the goals that you and your fellow seniors, there are 5 others other than you that are playing football this year, what are some of the goals you guys are setting for this fall?
I mean, obviously, it's all about winning games. It's a hard way to not get success if you're not winning football games. So I'd say just win as many as you can.
Yep. Preston, what's going to make this a good year for you?
Just the energy that's going to come out this year with how the team is going. It's been going good since day one that we started.
That sounds good to hear. Preston, I know you talked about, hey, I want to keep playing football. I don't want to be done playing football as a senior. What are your after high school plans at this point?
Going straight into the workforce, going HVAC, hopefully becoming an HVAC technician.
That's not a bad thing. Isaac, what about you?
Looking towards the medical field, I don't know. I might have some opportunities to do track and field in college. Who knows? It's going to depend on, recruiting-wise. But I'd love to get into the medical field and just find my way from there.
All right, sounds good, fellas. Best of luck your senior year. Brian, thank you very much. As always, tell Joe we said hello. Guys, that's North Miami leading off the show. We're going to talk about Northwestern's upcoming season when we come back. As you're watching the 2023 Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff Special. Back in a moment here on ISC. The ISC Sports Network is your home for sports content across the Hoosier State. Find us live on TV and streaming or archived on our website and our app. The ISC is your one-stop shop for the content you want to see, including high school sports, college sports, and other great events throughout the year. Subscribe to our streaming service and get access to it all. ISC, local lives here. Welcome back. It is the Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff Special here on the ISC Sports Network. As always, thanks to Brandon Bishop and the good folks at Coca-Cola of Kokomo. Again, they service over 25 high schools in north central Indiana, and all the schools that you see here on our special today. You can always find out more about them at cckokomo.com or follow on Twitter at Kokomo Coke. We will have 2 segments dedicated to talk about Northwestern this year, and players only in this one. Gabriel Felix is to my left. Garrett Jolliffe, Cameron Davis to my right. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. And Gabriel, I'll start with you. Just kind of your thoughts on heading into this season. A couple of wins last year that may not sound like much for some, but it's the best that you guys have been in a while. So just kind of your confidence level heading into the fall of 2023.
I think that we're going to be enormously better than we have been in the past just because of our work ethic and coming up with more team workouts. And when we had our off week, we had a lot of team workouts that we were doing together and building as a community.
Garrett, I know this is a program that historically has had success. It's been kind of elusive for you guys over the last few years. What kind of tells you that you and your teammates are pointed in the right direction?
Yeah, just the overall turnout that we had this summer and the amount of work we put in. And, I just think we got a lot of good work in this summer.
Cameron, there has been obviously a lot of work that you and your teammates have put in. Maybe that hasn't resulted on, not maybe, it hasn't resulted in the number of wins that you wanted to. What's kind of kept you and your buddies motivated to keep playing and keep kind of putting your nose to the grindstone like that?
We just know that we can be the group that changes the culture and we can change what happens here. Mm-hmm. So we know that what we do will set the foundation for the next ages coming up.
My guess is, and Garrett, I'll start with you on this one, that you guys have already changed the culture. It's just now a matter of kind of getting those results to happen. Do you feel good kind of about the bond that you guys have and the work you put in so far this summer?
Definitely. I feel great.
Cameron, when you look back, obviously at just a couple of wins, but better than what you had the year before, take me through a couple of highlights last year. When you think back to the good moments from last season, what immediately comes to mind?
Well, when we had our first win against Twin Lakes that first week, the whole community stormed the field after we won that first game. It felt great.
Kind of the reward for doing what you do, right?
Right.
Gabriel, same question to you. If you think back to your season a year ago, what are kind of the favorite things that come to your mind?
Again, our first win, because that was sort of the rolling stone for changing the culture for our community. And then just the teamwork that came into it, and then the overall building of the culture, that the foundation was set last year, and we are hoping to get it rolling this year.
Cam, what's it like playing for Coach Patchett?
I love him. I mean, he's been great. He's helped every one of us, not just playing football, but being better people.
Kind of, Garrett, same thing for you. Experience of playing for Coach. Again, there had been such kind of turnover. Now that's not been the case these last 2 or 3 years. You guys get to graduate with largely having the same coach for most of your high school experience. What's it like been playing for Coach?
It's been great. He's helped us a lot in the weight room, the classroom, and on the field as well.
All right, sounds good. Gabriel, what are some of the goals that you and your teammates have set for this year? What's going to make this a good fall for you?
Just overall getting the culture moving to proceed for the next upcoming classes, and obviously getting more wins than we have, and having a winning record this year. Last year we went 2-8, and we're hoping to go 8-2 this year.
I like it. All right, Garrett, same question to you. What's going to make this fall a good one for you?
Just everybody coming together, having a fun time. Last year, go out there, play hard.
Cam, same thing for you. What's going to make this a good season for you?
Just everybody coming together. We're playing hard. We're playing as one, and the senior parents have really been great, and we've had a bunch of stuff planned, and it'll be a great senior year.
All right, let's talk about positions. Cam, what all you playing this year?
I'm a wide receiver and defensive back.
Garrett?
Tight end, D-line.
All right, and you, I assume you're left tackle and nose tackle, right? Not wearing number 10. What positions do you play?
I'm a wide receiver and a defensive back.
Very cool. Guys, I know, again, you have started the process of getting it turned around. I can tell there's good things going to happen for you. Guys, thanks for the time and best of luck.
Thank you.
We'll come back with one more player representing Northwestern. Plus, Coach Patchett will join us as well as you're watching the 2023 Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff Special here on the ISC Sports Network. Talking more about the Northwestern Tigers here on the ISC Sports Network. To my right, it's the head coach, Rob Patchett. To my left, it is Owen Peel. Coach, we will start with you. First of all, welcome back to the show. Now, year number 3 of being back as the head coach at Northwestern. What is it about this program and this community that kind of keeps you coming back?
Well, I'll tell you what, Greg, our community is amazing. They have totally bought in. When you come into a program that's been down like this for so long, not only are you trying to rebuild the kids, but you're trying to rebuild the community support around it. And when I got here, I met with some members of the community and some key moms, and started a football booster club, and we kind of re-energized that. And so if you come to one of the Northwestern football games now, even though last year wasn't as successful as we'd like to see it, you see tailgating going on. You see parents out there supporting. You see all these things that what Friday night should look like. And it wasn't like that when I first got there. So our parents and our booster club have done an amazing job in supporting us, not only in the community, but helping us get the things that we need, and helping us financially as well, with the new uniforms and all those kinds of things. And they've just done an amazing job. And so I'm not sure we would be building as fast as we are without their help.
Those are the things that are progressing off the field, and obviously tremendously important. Progress is going from no wins to 2. But what are the other areas of progress you're seeing when it comes to on the field for your team?
Well, when we went back and reviewed the year last year, we're pretty angry that we didn't win 5 or 6, to be honest. I mean, we turned the ball over quite a bit, which really we honestly believe we could have won 5 or 6 games had we not turned the ball over so much. But, when you gauge the process, you look at weight room numbers, for one, and how many kids are in the weight class. And our weight numbers are as good as anybody's, if not better than a lot of people's right now. Our overall team speed is much, much better. Our overall understanding about how to play football is different. I mean, I could tell a kid to get in a pass pro set and all this stuff now, and he knows what I mean.
Right.
And before that wasn't always the case. So, and the quality of our athletes has improved, and their work ethic and the things they do away. I tell them all the time, if you want to be great, you have to work when nobody's watching. And we got a lot of kids to do that. Owen, for instance, is an all-state kicker and punter. And if you follow Instagram and Twitter, you'll see Owen on there all the time kicking and doing all these extra things. And a lot of these kids are doing these extra things outside of our own workouts. So football has become important again to a lot of these kids, and I think that's really going to help us in the long run.
Tell us about your senior class.
Well, our senior class, you saw all these guys, of course. And we got some other guys, actually a big senior class for us this year. We got, of course, Cam, who's quarterback, wide receiver, DB. Owen, of course, kicker, punter. Now, Owen's actually one of the best athletes on the team, and we trick him on occasion of playing DB too. And then Garrett, of course, is a tight end, a defensive end, and Gabe. Gabe's a great player. Gabe's a wide receiver. Gabe can actually play in several different places. But really one of the places we've improved a lot is on the offensive and defensive line. And one of the guys that's really worked hard to become a better lineman is a kid named Alec Flores. He's going to be an offensive and defensive lineman. And then Thomas Kennedy also is going to be a senior offensive and defensive lineman. And these guys have been playing for 3 years. And they were in the wars when they were young and getting beat up. And I think they're really ready to kind of turn that page a little bit. And then, of course, we have a young man named John Keeney, who is a great athlete as well. He's a wide receiver, defensive back, comes from a great family, military family, and John shows that discipline and works hard every day. And then we got 3 new players this year, which is awesome for us. A young man named Jacob Benge. I kind of talked him into playing football out of the weight room class because he was running. He was strong for his size. He's going to play DB and wide receiver. A kid named Steven Slate, also from the weight class. And then I hired a new coach this year, Josh Whaley, who's been a long-time Western teacher, and he's got a young son that's a really good baseball player named Easton. And there was no pressure from me or Dad, and Easton just said, hey, I want to come out and try this. So now we have Easton Whaley also as a senior on the Northwestern football team, and Easton will probably be a DB and wide receiver.
All right, we'll get back to you in a second. I'll make sure we get Owen included here as well. So I'm always intrigued how, guys that end up being football players kind of end up going the kicker and punter route. So explain that path for me.
So when I was in middle school, I've always looked up to kickers. I don't know what it is, but I just always wanted to be that guy and have the pressure.
So much of being a punter or kicker at the college or professional level is mental training, almost like what a golfer would go through. And so what sort of mental skills do you kind of work on to sharpen and be game ready when your number is called?
I just shut all the sound and everything out and just lock in.
From a kicker or punter standpoint, at the next level, do you think there's an opportunity there for you?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking to do.
Is it one or both at this point?
Probably one.
All right. What's as long of a field goal as coach will let you try in a game?
Probably 40, 45.
It's not bad.
I guess. Yeah.
All right. What's the longest you've hit in a game so far?
23.
23. Mm-hmm. All right. We'll see if we can get him to let you try this. And he said he'll sneak you out on the field to play a little defense. You're okay with that? Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. So, like, when on a kickoff, you're not just, kind of hanging back. You're trying to go out there and make the tackle, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right. You heard what I talked with some of the guys about in terms of goals and signs you're improving. What are some of the goals? We talked about some of the individual things. But as a team, what are some of the goals you've set for this coming year?
Obviously win games, win a lot of games, and just get closer with all the guys and have a good senior year. This is now your third year of playing for Coach Patch. He talked about the way the culture has improved, and that was the word that was said by all 3 of your teammates that were up here. I heard everyone go, culture, culture, culture. So clearly that is something you guys have been working on. What are some of the things that you see that's telling you that's improving? Our mindsets, the way we carry ourselves, the way we work in the weight room, practices, just everything. Very good. Owen, best of luck and have a wonderful senior season. All right, so now the same question for you. You talked about, hey, we take better care of the football. You're a 500 team last year, maybe a little bit over it. What are some of the goals you've set for your guys this year?
Well, we have certainly been focusing all summer on turnovers. If we turn the ball over, we go whole team 100-yard up downs. Doesn't matter if it's one guy.
Kicker included?
Kicker included.
Sure, yep.
And to be honest, Cam Davis and Brock Shank are competing for quarterback, but Brock's right now probably in the lead, and Brock was our main quarterback last year, but he was a sophomore. And he is looking way better this year than he did a year ago. He's getting smarter with the football. Now, having said that, half of our turnovers were also fumbles. And I just told him the other day, we're not turning the football over this year. So, and some of that could have been we weren't as good up front. And so guys were taking hits for the ready and all that kind of stuff. But I'm extremely optimistic that if we take care of the football and tackle better, we've done a lot of tackling this summer as well, that we're going to have a pretty good year. Plus, now they all understand what we're trying to do a little bit better. I think just so many guys get caught up in we're going to run this system, we're going to do this system. Well, the system isn't what wins you games. I've coached in several different schools. You go to Eric Moore, he runs the wing tee, but he's not going to tell you that we win because we run the wing tee. He's going to tell you we win because we work harder in the weight room and we condition better than anybody else. I coached for Jake Gilbert. Jake Gilbert runs a spread. He's not a wing tee guy. But when I was at Westwood High School, we worked harder in the weight room, and we out-conditioned everybody we played. We're not always going to out-athlete them, but we can play harder and we can play smarter regardless of the system. All the systems work.
I know that obviously how football coaches work and coaches, frankly, in all sports, and it's I'm going to take care of what's in front of me. So your focus is the first week of practice. And after that, it'll be kind of the scrimmage, and then it's the season opener. I am going to ask you a bit of a long-term question here, though. Northwestern is one of the many schools that is kind of looking for a new conference identity. You guys are switching leagues at the conclusion of this year.
Yes.
Your thoughts on that move going from the Hoosier to the TRC a year from now?
Well, the Hoosier Conference is a great football conference. I think it's maybe one of the best small school conferences. But the problem with the Hoosier Conference is, for us anyway, is that the Hoosier Conference is becoming a lot of large schools.
Yeah.
And particularly where we're at right now in our process of trying to get better. We don't need to be playing 4 and 5A schools, and a lot of those schools are going to be 4 and 5A schools. Now, having said that, when I was in high school, I actually played in the TRC.
Yep.
So it's going to be a little bit of a homecoming for me. And I always thought back in those days, back then you had Oak Hill, who was winning state championships. You had North Miami, who was winning state championships. We were really good at Eastern back when we played at the TRC. Whitco, I think, was a state runner-up when I was there in those years. So the TRC has a great tradition too, and we're going from a great conference, but we're also going into a great conference, and hopefully we can enhance that conference
well.
as
I know
well.
You'll worry about that after you get through this fall. I know, obviously, you've got your goal set on more than doubling that 2-win total
Absolutely.
from what you did a year ago. But I also know that you're doing it through the process, as you talk about outwork them, outcondition them. The results will pay off on Friday nights. Rob, I know
Absolutely.
you get there, buddy.
Thank
Good
you,
to
Greg.
see you as
Appreciate
always.
you. Thank you for having us.
The Northwestern Tigers coming up to join us. When we come back, we're going to talk about the young men from Carroll High School. That's when we come back, as you are watching the 2023 Coca-Cola of Kickoff, Coca-Cola of Kokomo, there we go, kickoff special. Back in a moment on ISC.
Many communities in rural America are often overlooked as underserved. These communities are being left behind due to lack of internet and access to state-of-the-art technology. That's why Mulberry Telecommunications provides rural broadband services and technology and is growing their presence in north central Indiana. Because every community deserves infrastructure and beyond. To learn more, contact us today.
Time to talk about the back-to-back sectional champions, the Carroll Cougars. Coming up to join us now. To my left, it is Griffin Viney. To my right, Evan Johnson and Keegan Ellis. Fellas, congratulations. And Griffin, I'll start with that. To hear that in front of your name, back-to-back sectional champs, what does that mean to you?
Feels pretty good because it hasn't happened that much before we came into high school, so it feels good to be able to do that.
I know you guys were 9-4 your sophomore year. Expectations were higher. You met those last year in terms of going in 11-2. Evan, when you think back to last year, what are some of the favorite memories that come to mind?
Oh, man. Obviously winning sectionals again was a goal of ours, but when you hear the final bell, that's something special that you never forget.
Keegan, obviously this has been a pretty great run of success across a lot of sports at Carroll High School on both the boys and girls sides. What's it been like to be a part of that?
It's been pretty cool because the groups before us weren't really like that invested into it. And so when you look back into our group, I think it's pretty cool that everyone's so invested in buying into their sports.
Evan, obviously, at a school like Carroll, maybe a handful of players will specialize, but most players are going to play 2 sports or 3.
Yeah.
So the success is shared because you're playing multiple sports, but it's that good competitive rivalry where one sport's kind of cheering each other on. What's that like in the hallways every day?
Oh, man. Everyone's just cheering each other on and saying good luck on Friday night or good luck at the next basketball game or good luck for baseball. Just a big community that we all just cheer each other on.
Keegan, when you have the success you guys have had over the last couple of years, all of a sudden the goals get a little bigger. So what are you and your teammates talking about? What's the expectation here for the fall of 2023?
I feel like one big expectation that we have is to go out and just dominate. That's a big one, but we want to go all undefeated regular season.
Yep.
And then we want to go and take back sectionals again.
Griffin, when you hear the word dominate, that means you got to be putting in the work in the weight room, in the off-season workouts, etc. What have those been like for you and your teammates?
It's been good because, there used to be 20 people in the weight room, but now every practice we got 40, 50 kids. We can't even have all kids in there because there's just so many. We got to switch stations, so it's nice to just have everyone in there working hard and all that.
What it sounds like is you guys need a bigger weight room. We got to work up in the facilities a little bit. Well, again, you guys have had back-to-back sectional champs, and your coach has been the same for those last two in terms of Coach Betzner. I'll start with you on this one, Keegan. What's it been like playing for him these last couple of years?
It's definitely better than my freshman year. He pushes everyone to do better, and he really expresses that when he's trying to teach you something, he's going to yell at you a little bit, but you just got to make sure that you are staying focused, and it's for a reason.
Griffin, how do you view things differently now that you guys are heading into your senior year? Obviously, what you did successfully as a player last year, you want to continue, but you have to take on a more vocal role, a more leadership role. What has that been like for you?
I really try to lead by example and just show everyone, how to do it. And we got so many seniors, so it's really easy to show everybody how we do it because we've all been leading by example and just.
I know I asked the question about goals. I didn't ask either of the two. You're right next to me. So what are your goals for this coming year?
We had 4 losses sophomore year, 2 losses last year. We just want that to keep going down, and we want to not play down to any opponents and just play our best every single game.
Evan, your thoughts?
I'd have to agree with him on that one.
What's the future hold for you guys? What's life looking like after high school? What are the goals? What are you looking to do?
I really don't know yet.
You focus on football. No problem with that. Evan, what about you?
Probably go to Purdue, do agribusiness. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Keegan, what about you?
I'm going to try and get a scholarship for football and go play somewhere.
I like the sounds of that. Guys, congratulations on 2 wonderful years, and thanks for the time this afternoon. Best of luck this season.
Thank you. Thank you.
Again, Griffin Viney to my left, Evan Johnson and Keegan Ellis to my right. We're going to talk to Coach Betzner when we come back as you're watching the 2023 Coca-Cola of Kokomo kickoff special. Back in a moment here on ISC. We'll keep talking about those Carroll Cougars as Blake Betzner is kind enough to join us. And, Coach, you have set a pretty high bar. It's a first world problem to have 2 years as the man in charge of Carroll football, back-to-back sectionals. What has been so key to your success right out of the gate at Carroll?
Seniors. I go back for the first group, talking with them and just ask them, what do you guys want? What do you want to leave as your legacy? What do you want Carroll football to look like when you're gone? And, man, those guys bought in, and these next 2 senior classes have seen that, and they've worked. But, I give it all the credit to that first senior class. Every one of them just bought in and did everything. We moved them all around positions, and now it's easy. If I tell Keegan Ellis, he was an offensive lineman, you're going to fullback. Okay, you moved Case and Lambert, which is, North All-Star, and you moved him all over the place. I'll do whatever you need me to do. So, again, it goes back to that, just that first senior class setting the tone, and then all these guys just following it.
This is a program that obviously historically has had success, and there are other programs in the school that are doing very well, both basketballs, baseball, et cetera, over the course of the last few years. What's the atmosphere like, though, now on Friday nights in Flora, Burlington, et cetera, knowing that you guys are kind of the big thing in town right now?
Yeah, that's one reason I came to Carroll. The community is amazing. I can't explain it enough where they are buying in. They've bought in. I think we've won 2 sectionals, and when I drive through the town with my kids, and there's paintings all over the windows and just things that you just dream about as a coach, and for kids to experience and the community to all buy in. It's a lot of fun. It's what every coach and every player should be able to experience.
Well, the guys you're talking about, you're literally almost out of room in the weight room to call the kids in. Sounds like numbers are not an issue for you right now.
No, it's good. Our athletic department's been awesome. We have a football locker room that holds 40 kids, and we've got we started out at 66. In the summer, we're going to be about 59. I think we're going to finish at, and we have 40 lockers. So they went out and bought us 28, 30 more lockers to put in our locker room. So it's been really good. Again, community, kids buying in, and just being part of it.
With that, having that much numbers, can you avoid two-way starters, or are there players that are simply so good you're going to play them both ways regardless?
Yeah, I've always been the firm believer of, you want to get guys, playing time in and out, but if they're guys, they're playing.
Sure.
I mean, any athlete wants to play, and we got those kids that, hey, I'm good enough and I want to play. Keegan last year, rushed for 2,000 yards and rarely played defense. I told him that time's over. You're a 1A football player. You're not coming off the field for us next year. So you have some of those where if we want to get where we want to get, those guys got to be on the field.
All right, where you want to get is probably the top spot in 1A or getting to that point. Now that you won back-to-back sectionals, how do you take that next step?
It's the kids. I mean, I do firmly believe that, we've put in the time. As a coach, you can only do so much. And, I tell the kids, when we left there, it was the best story I've ever heard. We have a community center, the YMCA, and we got pounded by Adams Central last year. It was, after the first quarter, I looked around and said, oh, man, this is a different level.
Yep.
And I told the kids after the game, that's up to you now. I can do nothing more than, give you the opportunity. And they said they had like 30 kids in the weight room at the community center on Saturday morning after our game at Adams Central. So these kids want to beat that. So they're just going to work towards it, and we're going to see how things go.
Blake, thanks for the time. Thanks for stopping by. And again, best of luck playing well in November coming up this fall.
Thank you.
Blake Betzner, head coach of the Carroll Cougars, joins us. We'll come back and we'll talk about the Eastern Comets when we return as you are watching the 2023 Coca-Cola of Kokomo kickoff special right here on the ISC Sports Network.
McCulling in time. Oh, no! It's good.
This one is caught.
There you
go.
go.
Wow, Dawson makes a great catch.
Spin, win, 3, bury it for Leland Walker.
Tie the game they do with the dunk by Malik Edmonds. What a play.
Oh, my goodness.
I feel a little momentum starting to fall Ellen's way.
Wrestler!
Wrestler!
Whoa!
Welcome back here on the ISC Sports Network. It is the Coca-Cola of Kokomo kickoff special. We're now joined by members of the Taylor Titans that are kind enough to join us. That would be Cash Gates, that is to my left, Britton Dillon, and Cisco Macias, that is to my right. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. And normally I start with the player to my left, but I have been told I've got one senior of the three of you, and he's down there. That's Cisco, so he gets to go first. Cisco, what is it like knowing this is going to be your last go-around playing high school football?
It's kind of like a bittersweet moment. I mean, it's inevitable. Everybody knows it's going to come, but nobody wants it to come, really. I mean, but just going to go out and try to end on a bang, do what I can do to the best of my ability, and that's about all I can control.
2 wins last year.
Yep.
When you look back, what are some of the highlights? And a lot of times you can be proud of things that maybe didn't turn into a win. What are you most proud about what you and your teammates accomplished a year ago?
I'd say last year I felt like we came out and we were definitely more competitive. It didn't show on the scoreboard necessarily in all circumstances, but I felt like we played together better as a team. I felt like on defense we were more competitive, better at reading the offense and like getting to the holes and gaps we need to get to, feeling where we need to go. On offense, I mean, we had some struggles, but we also had a couple good strengths.
All right, let's now get joined by Britton Dillon. Britton, as a junior, what sort of leadership role are you planning on taking this year on the team?
A leadership role? Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
I don't even know. Get the underclassmen right. That's it. I mean, make sure they're listening. I really don't know. I'm worried about the underclassmen.
Yep. Well, usually you want to get the underclassmen right. You got to make sure you're taking care of yourself and getting yourself right. How you feeling about that heading into the season?
I'm feeling pretty good this season. I've been in the weight room a lot. I feel like I'm going to have a good season this year.
One of the things that we'll talk about with Taylor is that, again, the wins have not been there as much as people would like it to be.
Yeah.
What are the things that tells you that the program's heading in the right direction?
Hold on. We're playing more like a team. Like we're getting closer. That's what we've been struggling with really is being a team. And like at practices and stuff, like we're functioning more as a team. So I feel like that right there is what's gonna make us have a good season this year. I feel like we're gonna have a decent season this year.
That's a good way to look at it. Gage joins us now. Thank you so much for the time. And again, what are you most looking forward to about this season?
Just bonding more with the team. Really, last season it was hard just because I'm a new guy and I came here new, just not hearing all really the best things about the school. But I just try to keep my head high and do my best. So really, I'm just going into the season just trying to be more, be more with the team and keep my head up high and do my best.
You heard Britton talking about it, that he said it feels more like a team with this group. Do you concur with that?
Oh yes, I feel like everybody on the team, we on and off the field, we got a bond, and I feel like that bond really gonna help us out this season. So as long as we just keep, bonding throughout the season and having a positive attitude on and off the field, we're gonna do pretty good. So I feel like it's gonna be a good year for us.
As I look across the board, I see 51, 56, and 54. Do I have all linemen, all linebackers, or what do I have positioned? This is like 3/5 of the offensive line I'm sitting with right here.
Yeah.
All right. Again, I'll start with the senior. What are some of the goals you've set for this year? What's going to make this a good year for you?
For me personally, or for the team?
Either or.
Either or.
Yep.
For the team, I'd say if we can just push it, if we can break 500 this year, I think I'd be really proud, honestly. And also, I mean, last 2 years we weren't first round of sectional. If we don't do it again this year, I'm going to be kind of upset. But we got to at least win first round, hopefully make it farther. But that's at least my bare minimum goal.
Britton, what's your goals for 2023?
I'd like to get all conference again. I got it last year. I feel like I can do it this year again. But like Siska was saying, winning the first round of sectionals and going farther, because freshman year and last year we made it past the first round, but we lost second round. So I'd like to make it to the championship. So
Cash, what's going to make this a good year for you, buddy?
Championship. I just want the championship. I want to get way farther in sectionals than we did last year. That's really it.
Guys, thank you so much for the time. We greatly appreciate it. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
We're going to talk to the head coach of the Taylor Titans when we come back as you're watching the 2023 Coca-Cola of Kokomo kickoff special right here on the ISC Sports Network. We'll keep talking Taylor football with a man that's in the middle of his second stint as the head coach at Taylor High School. It is Josh Ousley. Josh, thank you so much for the time, and tell us about the three young men that we just had up here.
Well, they're all three offensive linemen, and they all contribute on defense, and they're three of the hardest working kids we got. It's been nice to have them around as far as like their leadership skills. They may not always be able to articulate what they're thinking in these kind of settings, but when it comes to practice and getting their points across to their teammates, they do a really good job.
All right, so with that, let's kind of talk about the wins have not been there as much as anybody would have liked them to. How have you measured successful strides in the program the last few years?
Well, last year it was from the beginning we talked about the fact that when we talk to the media and when we talk to different sources that it may not always show up on the scoreboard, but there's going to be improvement, and we measured improvement by how well we numbers against other teams, and as far as like we held them to this many yards rushing, we did this. So there's things inside of what we try to do that shows improvement to us. But from where the program was when I took back over, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about anyone previous to me, but the program was in such disarray when I took over. I think towards the end of the second season back, there was. I think we won a sectional game and played a sectional game with 17 kids. So, I mean, consistently, that's really hard to compete. Yeah. Even in Class A, that's really hard to compete. But I think we have a committed group of kids now and we're really young. I mean, we're going to be really young this year, but I think we have a really committed group that are ready to turn the corner a little bit. And again, it may not show up on the scoreboard, but it's going to change. People are going to, in the way that we play, people are going to notice the things that are different.
From a numbers standpoint, how many have out this fall?
We're going to be somewhere between 30 and 35. So
progress,
yeah, we're making progress. I think having the younger kids playing, the little kids, and then in middle school we've had decent numbers, and I think we're getting to the point where this is the goal. And previously, when I was head coach, this was the goal. We're shooting for 10 kids a class. if we can get 10 kids a class, then you're at 40, and you can do whatever you want. I mean, you can play the kids you need to play, and we're getting close to that. But it's just a process. You don't build a program overnight. Things just didn't change overnight at Eastern. Coach Edwards has done a great job over there, but it took time, and the same thing's happening here. And we're making strides and getting better. It's going to take time.
With that, tell me about Cisco. Again, the one senior we had up here. You said it's kind of a young team you've got. What sort of leadership do you expect from him and your senior class?
Yeah, he does a great job. People need rides. He's providing rides. Anything that I ask of him, he's done so far. He's done a great job and practices as far as setting the tone and what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. As far as moving forward this year, we've raised the standard of expectation, with some of the things in our coaching staff, and I've already explained those things to the kids, and what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and you're going to have to measure up, because if you're not, then we're going to move on from you, and we're going to find people who want to measure up, and because it's not so much that I'm tired of losing football games, it's just I don't want to be embarrassed anymore. I want to go out there and I want to play our tails off, and when people leave the field, they know that they played us.
A handful of years ago, you guys in Eastern both kind of made the move to a different conference to have more schools kind of your size. How does the conference kind of shape up for you this year?
Yeah, no, we're not the same size anymore.
I know.
We're one of the smallest teams in our conference. It's a very competitive conference at the top, but when you get outside of the top 3 or 4 teams, it's not. And we want to fight our way into that top echelon of the teams in our conference, and it's going to take time because they're really good teams up there. But we have something that we have a lot of athletes, and it's just a matter of getting better offensively on the line, and that's been one of our huge emphasis this winter is working with our offensive linemen, and that's part of the reason you see 3 offensive linemen here today is because of the commitment that those guys have put in and getting better and developing this in the system that we run and making the strides that we need to make.
Coach, really appreciate your time, man. Best of luck this year.
Thank you. We appreciate it. We appreciate all you do for us, too.
You got it. Josh Newsley, again, the head coach at Taylor High School. Stick around. We'll talk about the Eastern Comets when we come back. And plenty more to go here on the 2023 Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff Special right here on ISC. Welcome back, and as always, thanks to our friends at Coca-Cola of Kokomo, Brandon Bishop, the Severn family, everybody involved. This show would not be possible. We debuted this for basketball last year. We'll do it again then as well. Again, all of the schools that you see here are all sponsored by Coca-Cola of Kokomo. They keep the players hydrated on the field and keep their teammates hydrated in the classroom. Find out more at cckokomo.com or follow on Twitter at Kokomo Coke. Eastern Comets have had a good thing going over the last several years. Their head coach, Josh Edwards, nice enough to be with us. And joining us from the team, Ian Hewitt, as well as Jaden Eagle. And we'll start with the players first. Ian and Jaden, thanks for joining us. And Ian, what are your expectations for the upcoming season?
I'm expecting us to do good this year. I see a lot of potential in the younger kids, and I think Jaden and I are here to coach them and help progress this team in the future.
Jaden, what are some of the goals that you have set for this coming season for you and your teammates?
Conference championship.
It's that simple, huh?
Sectional, to go deep in the sectionals.
Yeah, obviously being competitive in the conference has been something you guys have done pretty handily. Ian, how do you guys kind of take that next step and turn it into postseason success?
Well, last year we only got to share the conference. This year we'd like to win that.
Yeah.
And then we want to take that momentum into sectionals, and then we want to go deep into the year.
Jaden, what's the workouts been like? What's the work that you and your teammates have been putting in to make that success happen coming up this fall?
A lot of team camps, team training in general, just building relationship with the teammates, with the team, with the coach.
What's it been like, and Jane, I'll start with you on this one. What's it been like playing for Coach Edwards these last 3 years?
It's been amazing. And I want to pass up the flame to the younger ones.
You guys have had a pretty good run going. What's it like to try to be kind of the next group, as Jaden said, to kind of pass the torch? What's that desire, I guess, burned like inside of you to say, hey, I'm kind of the next link in the chain to make sure we're having a successful year?
I mean, it's definitely a little bit stressful because you got all that pressure on you, but it's just something you got to do. You got to execute.
Ian, if I asked you a favorite moment of Eastern football from your 3 years until this one, what would it be?
My favorite moment, it was probably my freshman year, being with my brothers, just being with all three of my brothers on the field.
Yeah,
it was fun.
That's a pretty cool family moment.
Yep.
Jaden, what about you? Favorite? I know you want to have a favorite moment coming up this year later on down the road. Yeah. What's been the best thing so far?
I think my first touchdown, freshman year.
Yeah?
That was my favorite. That was a spark, I guess. It was special.
I would say freshman year in a varsity game?
Yes.
That doesn't happen a lot of places. That's pretty impressive.
Thank you.
I see why you picked that one. What's the future plans for you after high school, Ian?
I'm not really too decided yet. I do plan on going to college, get a degree somewhere.
Yeah. Jaden, what about you?
College football.
Good. Guys, best of luck. Thanks for joining us.
Yep, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Hang right here. I'll pivot left and talk to Coach Edwards. And, Josh, it is always good to see you. And we have had kind of a similar versus conversation after the last few years. You have built a very successful program, seemingly year in, year out in Greentown. What's that process been like? How have you gotten that done?
Well, the big thing is our feeder program. I actually put a tweet out today with pictures of our 5th and 6th grade doing conditioning on our field yesterday, and our 7th and 8th grade doing conditioning on our practice field yesterday, and that's where it starts. We get those guys that are already knowing our system, and again, we're not anywhere close to where we want to get to yet, but
Sure.
As far as just kids knowing formation names, play names, terminology, vocabulary that we use as varsity coaches, that's been the huge transition as far as making that corner turn, as far as being successful year in and year out. And when we do lose a class of seniors that are very good players, now we can plug in kids that are behind them and we don't take a huge drop off.
From one end of the spectrum to the other, from the 56 and 78 kids to a couple of seniors to my right. About these two young men.
Yeah, so I mean, these are two tremendous leaders for me, and that's why I selected them to come today, is because not only are they tremendous football players, but they do take the young kids under their wing. And if you noticed, a lot of their answers to your questions were about passing the torch and carrying it on and passing it on to the next generation. And that's something I want our kids to do. Is it's not just about, we want to win. We want to win a sectional. It's never happened at Eastern.
Right.
But at the same time, it's about making sure that these kids enjoy football. It's about making sure they love it and they're passionate and they want to continue to do it. And then those kids pass it on to their kids when they get down the road. And, these guys are good models for that. They're models of hard work. They're models of good football players, and they're good young men.
Before you get to the postseason, you've got 9 important regular season games to get to. How does the schedule stack up for you this year?
Yeah, I mean, the schedule is, I think it starts off challenging for us, right? We open with Oak Hill, who had an outstanding season last year and well coached, and they have a great tradition. That's a home game for us, so that's a big one. Then we'll open with Northwestern, who looks to be improved.
Yep.
We'll open with them. So we've got 2 3A schools right off the bat there. And then we go into our conference schedule with Delphi, Taylor, Clinton Central, Tri-Central, Sheridan, and then we get to Clinton Prairie at the end of the year. So, there's no down weeks for us. We have to come ready to play each week, and I think, we've got a great roster this year. And again, our strength numbers are through the roof. We've had kids that have been dedicated since November, putting in a lot of time to make sure that we can at least compete for that goal to get to November.
I know I asked you about these two specifically, but it sounds like these two are kind of indicative of your entire senior class. You got a pretty special group this year.
We do, man. And again, it's my son's in that class, which obviously makes it really special because I've been coaching these kids since 3rd grade. And then my youngest son will be a freshman this year, so he'll be on the field a little bit too. But my senior class is very, very special to me. They're good football players. They're good leaders. And, again, they're great young guys. I don't have to go to practice and worry about drama, or I don't have to worry about guys, not taking care of the locker room for me. These guys are going to address it. They're going to take care of the ship for me when I'm not around.
All right, so again, not to try to bypass, going for a conference championship, having another winning record.
Yeah.
But once you get to October 20th and beyond, how do you take that next step?
We were close last year, right? We lost by 1 in the sectional opener to Tipton. Again, very great program, great coaching staff, great kids. But I think a lot of it comes down between the years. Our kids have heart. They've worked their rear end off physically, and I think right now it's just that belief that we can go win a sectional. There's not a team in our sectional that our kids don't believe that they can win against.
Sure.
I'm not saying we're going to.
Right.
I'm just saying there's not a team they don't believe they cannot beat, and I think that's where it starts. And I think that's our coaching staff's job, is to make them believe that.
Well, good luck as always, buddy.
Thanks,
good to
Greg.
see you. Fellas,
Appreciate it.
congratulations on what you've accomplished at this point. Best of luck in your senior season. Again, for Ian and Jaden and Josh Edwards, Greg Rakestraw with you. We'll take this quick timeout. We'll come back and we'll talk a little more Howard County football and beyond. It is the 2023 Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff Special, and we're back after this on ISC. The ISC Sports Network is your home for sports content across the Hoosier State. Find us live on TV and streaming or archived on our website and our app. The ISC is your one-stop shop for the content you want to see, including high school sports, college sports, and other great events throughout the year. Subscribe to our streaming service and get access to it all. ISC, local lives here. Welcome back on the ISC Sports Network. It is our annual Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff Special. It's time for us to talk about the Tipton Blue Devils. Aaron Toll to my left, longtime head coach at Tipton, and we are joined by a pair of juniors here joining us. It is Calvin Condict to my right and Cole Hussey there at the end. And fellas, we will start with you. How has the summer been, and are you ready for the football season to start? Calvin, we'll start with you.
I am. We've definitely been putting in a lot of hard work. I'm expecting big things this year, honestly.
Cole, kind of same thing for you. What's this summer been like for you leading into the upcoming football season?
Really a lot of work and trying to get everybody together as a unit and bring us together as a team and get everybody up to speed and, play as a team, get ourselves ready to play as a team.
You guys as juniors are giving answers that often seniors ask. So clearly Coach has you here because he thinks you're going to play a leadership role. So again, I'll start with you, Calvin. The leadership element to what you provide to the younger classes, how much are you cognizant of that as you're going through workouts and getting ready for practice?
I'd definitely say I'm more of a lead by example, and I think that the underclassmen, all my teammates see that, and so it just influences them to work harder.
Cole, I see you nodding your head along the entire time there.
Yeah, I'm the same way, and but I can also be pretty vocal if the freshmen are, slacking or older guys are slacking. I like to keep everybody going and, don't be goofing off at practice and stuff. So
well, being vocal is what we're glad you're here. That it makes for a better interview that way. Cole, I'll start with you. Obviously, Tipton is a program that has a tremendous tradition. So literally to have the Blue Devils across your chest as we're having this conversation, what does that mean to you?
It's about the whole town is football it's big, and everybody, you go into town and you're always going to see somebody that and I can't tell you how many times I've been asked about the football team because everybody wants to know. It matters to the whole community, and I think it's a really special program to be a part of, and the tradition sets us apart from any other school. There's nobody like us.
Calvin, same question to you. To wear that Blue Devils across your chest, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it means a lot. To have the whole community supporting us at every game, and like Cole said, there's a lot of tradition that goes into it. It's really special to be a part of.
Let's face it, at Tipton, the bar is set pretty high, and so 5-6 last year is now what people are kind of looking forward to. My guess is that's been a motivating factor for you guys all off season long. Calvin, we'll start with you. What are some of the goals that you and your teammates have for this coming fall?
Obviously, we want to go out there and win games, but before every season, we always set the same goal, which is to go out and win a sectional. So I think that's just the biggest goal.
Cole, what are you shooting for this year?
Sectional for sure. So I want to go prove people wrong, people that don't think we're going to be as good as we have been. I want to go show them what we can do.
I'm going to assume wearing number 87, there's a little wide receiver you might get to play at Tipton. What position do you play?
I play running back and linebacker.
And wearing number 87?
Mm-hmm.
I like that. All right. And Cole, what about you?
There's a story behind that.
All right. Well, I'll let you tell it here in a second.
I'm a middle linebacker, and I play a little bit of tight end. So.
All right. Very good. Guys, hang loose right here. Thanks for joining us today. Coach, how are you?
I'm good.
All right, so explain the story of number 87 here.
Okay, so they mentioned we have some special traditions at Tipton. Well, one of them is we have a senior night at our rock, which we bury tombstones, and our opponents don't like it all that much. But that's what we do on Thursdays after we win a game. Then we bury a tombstone with the score or whatever. But
sure,
one night during the season, right before the first sectional game, we have what we call senior night at the rock, and a lot of times players have the opportunity to pass their number down. Back in 1987. We had a senior wide receiver that passed his number down to a freshman, wore 87 as a sophomore, and then my dad moved that 87 to running back. So ever since 1987, the tailback at Tipton has worn number 87, and we look kind of silly on film a lot of times, but we get asked that a lot, but it's because we pass down numbers, and it's a 35, 40-year-long tradition.
By the way, you only look silly if you get tackled behind the line of scrimmage. You look
Right.
great if you're flying down the field.
Right.
I would respond with Ty Montgomery wears 88 as a running back in the National Football League, so you're going to be just fine. But having a 35 or now 36-year-old tradition is awfully cool. But frankly, that's typical of the Tipton way, and obviously following your dad's footsteps in terms of being the head coach. So there is tradition all over this program. Tell us about these two guys, because, again, both juniors. Why were they the guys you wanted to kind of represent your team today?
They were both instrumental in on our team last year. We do have a very small senior class this year. And Cole was our leading tackler last year. And he was the leader of our defense. And I've kind of told him that in conversations that he's going to be treated like a senior. And Calvin's a lot in the same mold. Calvin got hurt last year, tore up his knee in was it game 5, I think?
LCC, yeah.
LCC game. But they were going to be our two leading tacklers on our defense last year, and they're just great representatives of our team and stand for, what I want my players to be like, and thought this would be a great opportunity. We may have the same two guys here next year.
I like it. Makes my job easy. Just your thoughts about how the off-season workouts have gone and your kids' readiness for practice to start next week.
We've had, again, at a small school, I think summertime is very, very challenging. Yeah. I think every small school is a little bit different. At our place, basketball is very important. Our basketball team played 25 games in the month of June. Which just sounds kind of crazy, right. and then you're having football workouts 3 times a week, and there's the 4-H fair, and there's vacation. So, when you've got 40 to 50 kids and they're getting pulled in every different direction, it's difficult. But we've got it pretty good at our place. When my rule is, if you can make it to football practice, I expect you to be there.
Yeah.
I don't expect you to not go on family vacation and things like that, but. We're going to be an extremely young team this year, but the work ethic has been very, very good. I think we've been outstanding in the weight room, we will be a lot better week 10 than we are week 1.
Yeah, because you're such a young team. Are you setting goals? Do you do that differently?
Win the sectional.
Simple as that, huh?
Yes, every year.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen every year, but that's the goal every year. And our sectional will be very good. You just talk to Eastern. Bluffton is the returning sectional champion. Eastbrook is always very good. So our goal is to be in the conversation with those teams when that sectional draw comes out.
Well, you certainly get battle-tested by whom you play in the Hoosier Conference. Just your
Yes.
thoughts about how the conference stacks up for you this year.
It's going to be, obviously, on our side, I think Hamilton Heights is going to be very good. Western is always good. Those two teams on our side, just listen to Northwestern, they feel like they're going to be much improved. We lost Cass, so we've picked up, to replace them, we picked up Tippecanoe Valley that was 9-2 last year. The other side, West Lafayette, is always very good, obviously, state caliber. LCC is always very, very good. So there's lots of really good teams. We play which is kind of cool. We play South Adams to open the season, which is new. It's a long ways away, but we're going to meet at Indiana Wesleyan. We're going to play at Indiana Wesleyan on the opening night. So I think that's very, very cool. I think the kids will love that. It's a very, very neat stadium.
Well, as kids have thought for generations, it's very, very cool to be a Tipton Blue Devil. I know literally it has been your entire life. Aaron, as always, buddy, it's good to see you. Thanks for the time, and thanks for bringing these guys with you today.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having us.
Our chance to talk about the Blue Devils. We've got more coming your way next as you are watching the 2023 Coca-Cola of Kokomo kickoff special right here on ISC.
Ball here. Harris scores. With 19 seconds remaining.
Fake players, big boy. I'm telling you right now, that's awesome. I love it.
That's the finish. You get a layup taken and an and one. Out of here.
As you can tell by the jerseys and the helmets, I'm talking about the Cats with the K, head coach Austin Colby from Kokomo, and we're joined by Darren Story and Reese Beard from the Wildcats as well. Coach, we'll get to you in a second. Fellas, thank you so much for the time and just, I guess, your level of excitement knowing that the football season is almost here. Darren, we'll start with you.
I think we can make a good run. We had a really successful season last year. Fell short, which is okay. Got a few returning guys, young team definitely, but I think we can make a decent run still.
Reese, it was a rather impressive school year for you last year. You made the semi-state in football. You made the state championship game in basketball. When you look back to last year in total for you, what was that experience like?
I mean, it was just amazing all around, especially experience semi-state twice the year before and then doing it again in football. Then making it to state, it was all just kind of crazy, and I was glad just to enjoy the moment and be there, and yeah, I enjoyed it.
What is the difference for you in terms of the mindset as to how you approach football versus how you approach basketball? Do you try to approach them the same way?
I try and keep it about the same.
Yep.
I say, like, I try and use, like, for football, I want to use my defensive mentality and translate it to basketball and keep it right there, and it's just always heart over height, keep it going.
Darren, for you, knowing that there has been so much attention on basketball, there always is in Kokomo, and rightfully so over the last couple of years, what's it like for you and the football guys to kind of say, hey, we've got our own identity here as well?
I think it's just more, I mean, you got a big name in the basketball scene, it seems. It doesn't get as much recognition as it should be. I mean, we made semi-state. I didn't really see many big things for us, but I mean, yeah, we're still here. I think we deserve a little bit more recognition, but that's just my opinion.
Which is why we have these cameras rolling right here for opportunity like that. So 10-9 loss to New Prairie in the semi-state game last year. How much of a motivator? I can see the reaction of both your faces right now. That's been motivating you all off season, hasn't it?
Yes, sir, definitely.
100%.
I think that really showed, I think me and him mostly, how bad it can hurt to lose such a big moment. It was my first year of varsity football, and I was so connected with everybody. I think us as a team, we had so much team chemistry, and we made it so far. I mean, had a first good drive, and then I think everything just kind of – I think we got a little too confident. You know, we didn't keep a level head, but fell short at the end of the day. So,
Reese, for you, and again, you know, you put the football pads away quickly. You get on a basketball court. Once basketball's over, has the focus largely been on football for you since that time?
Yeah, definitely has. I didn't run track this year to focus in on football and just start hitting the gym harder and staying focused.
All right, so my guess is, Darren, the goal is to play one more game you did last year. Fair statement?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely.
And again, you know what it's like to play now in a state championship game. What would it be like to do that in a second sport and do that in football for you?
It would definitely be. It's a goal of mine, and I would love to do it, especially with my teammates. It's just a whole completely different atmosphere. I mean, because I've been, obviously, almost everyone's been to Lucas Oil, but not to play in the game.
Sure.
And that's definitely something I want to do.
And, Reese, my guess is you get asked this question a lot. When you're done at Kokomo, are you playing football You playing basketball? You figured that part out just yet?
Yeah, I'm going to play football.
Football, huh? And
yeah.
What about for you, Darren? Once your days are done here, you hoping to keep playing football in college and beyond?
As of now, yeah. If anything changes, then, that happens. But as of now, yeah, that's what I'm pursuing.
All right, guys, thanks for the time. Stay right here. Let's
Thank
talk to Coach Colby. And first of all, a couple of well-spoken young men you have here.
Yeah.
Good to see you as always.
Yep.
And there's a lot for you to be proud of as to what you guys accomplished a year ago. When you think back to last fall, what immediately comes back to your mind?
Yeah, it was a great experience, and I'd been a head coach for it was my fifth season last year, and I never won anything. I never won a conference or a sectional or anything, and to have all that success at once was kind of cool. And it helps when you have a great group of kids and a great staff around you and a great administrative staff around you that makes everything just go so smooth. And those guys. Even though we had a good group of seniors last year, and we got everybody got to experience that run and got all that extra practice throughout the off season. So, we just hope that we can keep building off of it. And we've broken down a couple times this summer on one more. We just want to play one more game, and but it helps when you got good guys. And I know we have a good group of guys coming back this year.
And obviously, you have been around when Kokomo has played that one more game and reached a state championship at the 5A level, and now playing at the 4A level.
Yep.
Tell me about these two young men. Again, Reese is a little more well-known because of being a basketball player here, but tell me about these two guys here.
Yeah, those two, they embody what, I want in a Kokomo Wildcat football player. They're good students first. Both of them are going to be academic all-state kids this year. They meet that requirement, and obviously academic all-conference. And if you got a bunch of those guys on your team, you're going to have a good season. Both of them are team captains this year. Both are returning all-state players last year. It's incredible when you get one junior all-state, but to have two kids make that team last year was awesome. So that's why they're here today. They embody what I want and really live it day in and day out, and they're picking kids up and bringing guys to practice every single day. It's not just what they do on the field, but it's also what they do off the field. That's why they got the nod to come in today. So
I know this is kind of the last year before things change as far as the NCC. How does the conference stack up for you this year?
Yeah, Jeff and Harrison are always going to be teams to beat. They always are. We don't get to play Harrison, unfortunately, again this year. Now next year, even though I think they're in one more year, and we're going to keep them on our schedule. Try to keep both them and McCutcheon on our schedule. It's just so hard to fill a football schedule without a bigger conference like that. But Jeff and McCutcheon, they're the teams to beat. They've won it the past 2 or 3 years. Muncie's going to be better. Marion's got Coach Chambers back up, so they're going to be better. Anderson and Coach Pennycuff, he's got it going on, and you can never discount Mike Johnson out at Logan Sport. He's a legend and won over 200 games in his career. So there's a lot of good coaches in our conference, and give them time to work their programs, and they're going to be good football teams. So we're going to have to come out and play good football every week. We open with Leo, who's a good opponent, and then we play defending 5A state runner-up Whiteland week 2. So it's a good schedule. It's a good test. It's good to get us to where we need to be by October and November.
That Whiteland game between you and Darren Fisher might take about 2 hours and 5 minutes. There might be 3 passes thrown the entire game.
That's how it is when we play Coach Johnson up at Logan Sport, too. He's a wing T guy. But, yeah, Coach Fisher, it'll be whoever throws the ball the more times will probably lose the game, because if you got to throw, you're in trouble.
2-1.
Yeah, that's
probably how it will play out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great places to play in terms of the facilities we talked about with the players and teams we have here. I love Walter Cross Field. What's it like calling that place home every day?
It's beautiful. I mean, we practice in it every single day. They're still got a couple more phases on the away side to get done. I think they're eventually going to put a press box over there, too, to house the away coaches and their filmers over there, and to give our crew a little bit more room on the home side. But when that gets done, it'll be unbelievable. It's already unbelievable. I mean, even down to the restroom facilities and our locker room. Our locker room's now 12, 13 years old, and it still looks brand new. And it just goes to show that, when our guys take pride in what we got, we're going to take care of it, and we're going to make sure everything looks good and keep it clean. And, the track around it's one of the nicest tracks in Indiana. So it's just down to every minute detail is amazing. Coach Mike Sell, who's on staff with me, has done a lot of the fence work around it. And it's, you can see the Kokomo Wildcats in the fence. It's amazing. And the amount of money and dedication that they put into not only there, but Memorial Gym and
across the board.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the baseball stadium here downtown. Our three major sports have unbelievable facilities, and our softball facility is now, if you haven't seen it, drive by. It's unbelievable. So just what they've done at Kokomo, and we're in the process of redoing our weight room, and we're very blessed. And hopefully if we can keep winning and keep giving them reasons to supporting us.
You talked about breaking down one more. What are you doing in July and August to play that one more come November?
Yeah, so we just, all June we just lifted and conditioned, and we conditioned a lot, and we make it hard and make sure that those guys are ready to go, and that's the hardest part of the season for us is June. And if you can survive that, you're going to be an okay player for us. And we had great attendance, 95% attendance, especially in our upper class levels 10 through 12, and we got a good incoming freshman class this July. We've been practicing and lifting still. We have 2 more days this week. We got tonight, and then we have tomorrow. And actually, Coach Wright from Sheridan's coming up tomorrow. So he loves to thud us, loves the physicality. So we'll see what they got, and they're always going to be well coached with him. Then in August, once we get going, we're going to open up with Zionsville, and that's a good test, and it's a great program, and Coach Turnquist down there does a good job. So hopefully we can go down there and hold our own with some younger guys, some inexperienced guys, I would say. But obviously the end goal is to use your July, August, September to be playing your best ball in October and November.
Sounds good, my friend. Always good to see you. Best of luck.
Yep.
Austin, thank you very much.
You.
Darren and Reese, congratulations on what you've accomplished so far, and best of luck this coming season. Stay tuned. More comes your way next. It's Coca-Cola of Kokomo kickoff special right here on ISC.
For the ultimate Wi-Fi experience, you need a managed Wi-Fi service with advanced Blast Wi-Fi. Blast Wi-Fi systems provide ultimate coverage, ultimate performance, and ultimate power all the time. Available from Mulberry Telecommunications, Blast Wi-Fi systems feature the latest Wi-Fi 6 technology and are equipped with unrivaled bandwidth and 4 times more simultaneous connections, so you can connect tons of devices throughout your home with no lag and no downtime. Plus, with 24/7 support and remote troubleshooting, you can rest assured that Mulberry Telecommunications is always here to help you should any issues arise. It's the ultimate Wi-Fi experience, and it's a blast. Blast Wi-Fi is now included with Mulberry Telecommunications fiber internet packages. Contact Mulberry Telecommunications at 296-2885 today to get started.
Welcome back here on the ISC Sports Network. Starting to wind things down in our 2023 Coca-Cola of Kokomo kickoff special. It's time to talk to our friends at Tri-Central. Always good to see the head coach and Shane Arnold to my left. And joining us, Michael English and Connor Calloway. Coach, be with you in a second. Let's talk to the players. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Michael, just your thoughts about the season getting ready to start here in a few weeks.
I think we're very well set off, and we have a lot of skill. We have a lot of people coming back. We're kind of light on freshmen, to be honest, and our senior class is not that big, but we have a lot of juniors and sophomores, and we've had numbers in the weight room and coming to core and the open fields, so we're pretty well set off.
Connor, tell me what you're thinking about as the season gets ready to kick off.
I'm definitely ready to get started. Like Mike said, we've had great numbers in the weight room at core days, open field. We don't have tons of seniors or tons of freshmen, but we have a bunch of guys returning as sophomores and juniors that should be ready to help us.
Both you guys seniors?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, so just knowing this is the last time you get to kind of wear that Tri-Central uniform, that Trojan helmet, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. Like, going through football has had its ups and downs. It has changed the way that I think about, like, a lot of things, especially having, like, the family with the football team. We do a lot of things together, and a lot of us has grown as people.
Connor, what about for you?
I'm definitely going to give it my all. It'll definitely be an experience that I'll never forget. I've only been at Tri-Central for a year. This will be year 2. But coming in, they accepted me. It's like a big family. We hang out all the time, go out to eat, and just make memories together.
What was that first year like then for you? Because it's always tough to adjust to a new school, a new community, and then you're picking up football. What was that like for you last fall?
It was great. As soon as I came in, the coaches helped me. They gave me pretty much whatever I needed to help me learn the plays, and everyone was great helping me. It was just a great family atmosphere.
Michael, if you've had a favorite moment from your previous 3 years of playing football at Tri-Central, what would it be?
There's probably not one single moment. A lot of the times we just, we'll go out and eat together and we'll have fun. We also have, fun times at other sports. We'll go to the volleyball games or basketball games, and we'll all hang out there and just have fun memories.
Connor, what's the goals you set for yourself for this year?
For me personally, I didn't really set any goals for myself. I just want to do whatever I can to help the team win and be successful.
Michael, what about you?
Mine is just to be the best I can and help the team as much. Be the fastest, strongest, try not to get injured.
52 and 75. I assume it's talking to a couple of linemen here.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And so, what are the plans post high school? We'll start with you, Michael. What do you want to do?
I don't really have plans yet. Either college or whatever, just whatever shows up for me.
You can just focus on football for now.
Yep.
Connor, what about you?
I either want to go someplace to study physical therapy or go into something agricultural related.
Very cool. Guys, thanks for joining us today. You guys hang right
Thank you,
here.
sir.
Shane, we'll talk to you, buddy. It is always good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about these two guys here that you brought with you today.
They're a part of our foundation. This is the first time in all my years since about 2013, 14 that our line, both offense and defense, has got to lead the way. They're our experience. They're our nasty side. They got to set the tone. We will go as they go, and I tell them every day how important they are, and that's why we wanted to bring linemen in here.
When last year went 4-7, obviously I know your goal is to win more than that, but it's not just wins and losses as a high school football coach, especially at a small town. What are you most proud of about what you saw from your kids a season ago?
Their total buy-in and work ethic. It's hard at a 1A school to show up every day and struggle through the ups and downs. These kids come every day willing to learn, willing to work, and fully bought in. We tried something new this year. We just conditioned over and lifted over June, and then we picked up open fields in July to give the kids time to do other sports, kind of be kids, and it's really worked out for our benefit. The basketball numbers were up in June. Football numbers are up in July. So their commitment to come in to want to be the best that we can be has been eye-popping. I'm very proud of them.
What are the numbers looking like for you heading into practice next week?
We're going to be right around 30, 35, which is good. That's good numbers for us. At a 1A school, we're dealing with one of the smallest freshman classes in school history. So if we're around 30, that's good for us.
What are some of the goals you set for your kids this season?
I want to compete. I want to play fast. I want to be physical, and I want to compete. I tell them winning and losing takes care of itself, and we don't put a lot into winning and losing. Everybody wants to win. If a head coach sits there and tells you, "I don't worry about that," they're crazy and they're lying. We all want to win, and we do everything we can too. But at the end of the day, we got to be realists too. There's a bigger project. We want them to be solid community guys. We want them to be good dads, good husbands, and be good workers. So we want to prepare these guys for life, and we want to compete. We want to compete at a high level.
I asked these guys what it means to them to kind of represent, their school for a final time. Obviously, that's not the case for you. You can have this job as long as you want it, but you've got that logo on twice as I'm sitting here looking at you.
Yep.
To represent those communities in Tipton County, what does that mean to you?
I'm very blessed. I love our community. I do not take this job lightly. A lot of people laugh and joke, "Oh, it's just a 1A school. It's just a small school." This is the most important job outside of being a husband and father that I take the most pride in. I show up every day early. I want to give these kids the best that they have, and I take representing this community very serious. I do not take it lightly. I'm very blessed to have this job, very thankful. I have a tremendous administration behind me and community behind me, and we're excited to see what happens this year.
Coach, it's always good to see you, buddy. We'll look forward to doing this for a 6th year next year.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us.
Good luck to the Tri-Central Trojans. Michael and Connor, thanks for the time, and good luck in your senior seasons.
Thank you.
The guys from Lewis Cass were making the Kings wait until last. We'll figure that out when we come back as we'll wrap up the show. It is the 2023 Coca-Cola of Kokomo kickoff special right here on ISC.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app,
Your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com. Welcome back for the final time on the 2023 Coca-Cola of Kokomo Kickoff Special here on the ISC Sports Network. Thrilled to be joined by the Lewis Cass Kings as we wrap up the show. To my left is head coach Clay Mannering. We'll get to him in a matter of moments, but I am thrilled to be joined now by LJ Hillis and Cooper Fry. And by the way, it's a shame you can't see the back of the jerseys because their names are on the back of them. The uni swag, very sweet for the Cass Kings coming into this season. LJ and Cooper, guys, thanks for joining us. And LJ, we'll start with you. Just your level of excitement going into another season of football at Cass High School.
I can't wait. This is my favorite time of year. I just love being around all the guys and playing football. It's just my favorite thing to do.
Cooper, your thoughts as well about knowing football season and practice is less than a week away.
I'd have to agree with LJ. It's the greatest time of the year. Nothing better.
Obviously, again, Cass is a program that has a great tradition that has made trips down to Lucas Oil Stadium in the past. For you guys to have that Lewis cast on your chest, LJ, what does that mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot. We're really proud of our school, and there's a lot of school pride. And we just love that we're known for the hit, and that's just a big part of our identity, and we love it.
Cooper, same thing for you.
It's a big thing for me. A lot of my family's played for Lewis Cass, and each one of them has brought the hit to win to the table, so I hope to do the same.
All right, for those that are clearly this is a Cass thing, they all get it, but for those outside, explain kind of the mantra, the messaging there.
It's the Lewis Cass football hit to win. If you're not hitting hard, you're not going to win any games.
Well, it also means that you've been putting in the work in the weight room to be
Yes.
able to hit like that in games. What's that process been like? Cooper, we'll start with you. Just tell us the level of work you and your teammates been putting in so far this offseason.
I think the weight room has gone amazing this year. Coach Mannering's definitely brought a big importance to the weight room. Every guy has been in the weight room all summer, getting stronger, every single one of us.
LJ, what's the offseason grind been like to be ready for Friday nights coming up?
Like Cooper said, we've been putting in a lot of work in the weight room, and our numbers have improved a lot over these last few years, and we're looking to have a much stronger team this year.
You know, some teams kind of struggle to find somebody to play in week number one. That's not the case for you guys. You guys have a big rivalry game coming up with Pioneer. While it's not a conference game, it is a rivalry game. What's that game like to open the season every year?
Well, they're pretty close to us, so
yeah,
we know a lot of their kids, and they know us, and every year we're looking forward to hitting them, and the goal is to beat them every year. So,
Cooper, what's going to make this a good year for you and your teammates?
For me, I want a lot of wins, but most importantly, I want to make it far this year. The past 2 years, I think we've been really close to a sectional championship, and this year we're going to reach out and grab it. No question about it.
LJ, same question for you. What are the goals you've set for this season?
I'm with him. I want a sectional this year. I thought last year we had a pretty good shot, and then we fell short to LCC, but we're looking to push past that this year.
And Cooper, you're going to play what positions for the team this year?
I'll be a halfback and an outside linebacker.
And LJ?
I'm quarterback and outside linebacker.
All right, so with that, future plans after Lewis Cass High School. LJ, what are you hoping to do?
My goal is to play football somewhere. I'm not sure where yet or what I'm going to study, but I'm really hoping to go to the next level and play somewhere.
I know Coach has a couple of suggestions, I'm sure. Cooper, what about you?
Same as LJ. The goal is to play somewhere afterwards, but if it works out, that's amazing. If not, we'll get right to work.
There you go. Guys, sit right here. And again, Coach Mannering obviously has grown up around Cass football, but in between playing at Cass and then coaching at Cass, a stint playing and coaching at DePaul University. So you've got those ties at the small college level as well. Mm-hmm. First of all, just tell me about these two young men you brought with you today.
These are two of the best I've ever had for sure, but we've had as a program at Cass. They both, this is a fun year for me. I'm going into kind of feels like my senior year.
Right.
So when I started, these guys were freshmen. They both got a little bit of time as freshmen, which was it was not a good thing in 2020. It's a great thing now. And so they're outstanding kids, outstanding leaders and players, and I'm really, really excited to watch their success this year.
6-4 last year, and again, I know you want to set the bar high, and you want to play more than just a postseason game, but overall, looking back, the progress you made in 2022.
Yeah, last year was incredible. Our seniors a year ago did a really, really nice job of getting us back to winning football like we hoped we would. It was an odd season in terms of we won the first 5 before we got into a tougher part of our schedule. And then we really did feel like we had, the team where we could, push through the tournament. And you know how the blind draw works.
Sure.
We draw a bye first round and then get LCC. And we had turned the ball over 8 times before that game. We turned it over 6 times that game. So it was just unfortunate ending to a good season. But that's the one thing they both said in our 4 years together, we've not yet won a playoff game. And so we got to make up for lost time this year, hopefully. And it's won't be easy by any stretch of the imagination, but that's where our goals are.
You guys, again, playing a great league currently. I know that league's about going to be changing for you in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of the battle-tested nature you get from playing that schedule in the postseason, just your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, it can be good and bad. When these guys were freshmen playing against really good Western West Lafayette teams, I would argue it's not such a great thing.
You get beaten up, yeah.
I don't think I said it in the interview that year, but yeah, we get to play really good teams, and I think that has prepared us. And we're one of the weird ones. We're going to jump to the TRC this year. Okay. Northwestern will follow next year. But we'll get to rekindle some old rivalries with teams like Maconaquah and Peru. And Rochester is one we've had some great games with over the years. And so we're looking forward to a new challenge there.
So what's it like now? I know how coaches are creatures of habit. It's new rivalries, but also teams you've not played before. So it's teams you've not seen and scouted.
Yeah.
What's it going to be like for you and your staff during the course of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I guess luckily for me and my staff, we just did that 3 years ago when we all got to Lewis Cats for the first time. So, these teams don't know a ton about us. We don't know a ton about them. But like I said, it'll be fun to rekindle some old rivalries that used to exist in the old Mid-Indiana Conference and then add some new ones that we've never played Northfield High School before, things like that. So we're excited about the change. We're going to miss a couple old rivalries in Western and Hamilton Heights, for instance, but I think overall it'll be a good thing for our school.
I talked about this briefly with Aaron here. I could have talked about it with Austin here, but obviously it's not just going home for you. It's following in Dad's footsteps.
Yeah.
What's that like at Cass on a yearly basis?
It's been fun. We're finally getting to the point where when somebody says Coach Mannering, they might be talking about me. And so that's catching on slowly, I think, in the school. But it's been a blast. I'm just like these guys. Cooper's got all kinds of family that's played for Cass. LJ's family has been big in Cass. His mom was a great basketball player. And so I feel in some ways a lot like these guys is we're all getting a chance to represent our school and our community just like our parents did before.
Care to offer a Monon Bell prediction for the fall?
Tigers by 60.
At least. I figured that would be the case. Clay, it's always good to see you, buddy. Tell your dad I said hello.
All right, we'll do.
All right, guys, stay right here because this is time for us to wrap up the show. Thanks to all of the wonderful coaches and players that gave up their time right before school starts and also right before the practice season starts as well to join us on the show today. Cannot thank our staff on ISC enough. Thanks to J.D. Yarlin, the man behind the cameras. As always, thanks to Vince Morales and Jordan Shue in the truck. And this would not be possible without the wonderful support, not just of us on ISC, but of these schools in which they support on a day-in, day-out basis of our friends at Coca-Cola of Kokomo. Thank you so much to Brandon Bishop, the Severn family, everybody involved that makes this happen. Look forward to doing this again next year, and frankly, we won't even wait till next year. We'll do this for the high school basketball season coming up at the end of October and early November as well. Best of luck to the Kings and all the teams we have talked to today, knowing the high school football season kicks off officially on August the 18th. Thanks for joining us for the 2023 Coca-Cola of Kokomo kickoff special right here on ISC.
My father's father had 2 brothers and a sister. His older sister, Hazel, had married a man named Jim Yunker, And he was involved in the bottling business early on, as early as 1906 in Indianapolis, and he sold flavors. He would have had grape, cream soda, blood orange, ginger ale. In 1915, he got the franchise for Coca-Cola in Indianapolis. So then we fast forward 20 years later to 1935, Jim Yunker approached my grandfather and his two brothers and said the franchises in Kokomo, Logansport, and Peru are available for sale, and you guys want this. Trust me, you want to get in the Coca-Cola business.
Throw it up for Tillman.
Whoa. My goodness.
122.60 for Penn.